Hey everyone, my name is Riley and this video is a complete tutorial on Trello. I will be walking you through absolutely everything that you need to know when it comes to Trello in a simple and easy to follow way. And if you would like to claim a free Trello account, you can do so using the first link down in the description. Once you have clicked on that link, you will be taken over to this screen right here. So all we need to do to get a free Trello account is go up to get Trello for free in this top right corner. And in here, we can sign up to Trello using either your email or any of these accounts shown right here. And once you have created your Trello account, we will be taken over to the Trello boards area. So up at the top here and along the side, we can go into templates and we will explore these later. But first of all, let's go ahead and build out a basic board. So just click on create up at the top right here, and then we can choose from create board, which is going to create a basic board. Start with a template where we can choose from templates, or we can start a workplace, which is a group of boards and people that you can use to organize your company, side hustle, goals, or friends. As I said, let's keep this nice and basic to start off, and then we can gradually build up into the more advanced features. So in here, we are first of all going to create a board title. And for this, I will just title this to do, as we will create a to-do list out of this. Now, even if you do not want to create a to-do list and you want to use Trello for something completely different, keep watching because this will still explain exactly how Trello works and you will get a very good understanding from this. From here, we can also choose the visibility, whether this is a private board so that only you can see this, a workspace where all the members who are in your Trello workspace can see this, or public so anybody on the internet can see this. I'm just going to go with workspace. And finally, we can choose a background from this top section. We have a few templates to choose from. We can also customize this later. Or if you want more access to different backgrounds, we can click into these three dots and then see all of the backgrounds available right here. I'm just going to go with this standard background, and then we can click on create, and this is going to create our Trello board. So as this is a to-do list, we can enter in a list title. So this first list I am going to create is to do. Then we can add this list. Then it's going to ask us to create another list. So in here, I will create this as in progress. Then we can create review, and then we can create complete. So right here, we now have these 4 different categories: to do, in progress, review, and complete. Underneath, we can then go in and add a card. And in here, we can start listing out individual items that we need to do. So a fantastic thing for me to do in here would be to create this Trello tutorial. Then maybe I need to edit the Trello tutorial, and I also need to walk my dog. Now these different sections are going to show up within each of the lists that we created, and we can simply drag these sections along to in progress when this is in progress, where this is right now. Then this review section doesn't really matter for the things that I showed up. So if you do want to delete these sections, we can click on these 3 dots and then go down to archive this list. Just like that, that section is going to be deleted. And then of course I can move this into complete once I have finished this Trello tutorial. We can do so many other things with this, and it's not just a to-do list that we can create. For example, I can go ahead and create another board down here, and let's go ahead and call this 2024 goals. Once again, we can choose a background. So in here, I'm going to open up the background section and choose something that kind of fits a goal board. In here, I'm just going to select a car that I like, and this is now going to be the background. We can then go ahead and create this board right here, and then this is the exact same thing. So by default, we have to do, doing, and done. So what I'm going to do is go in here and archive all of these lists, and let's go ahead and create some new lists. So right now we are in February, so I can go Feb goals. Maybe I actually want this week's goals as well. Then we can have today's goals and 2024 goals. Now, looking at this, we want today's goals and this week's goals in front of February goals. So all we have to do is click and drag on these sections that we want to move along, and we can move these to exactly the order that we want. That is much better. Next, I'm going to go ahead and click add card and list all of the individual goals that I need to do. Just like this, we now have all of these goals created in this section, and now we actually might want to create a new category for complete. From here, I can then go to today's goals. If I've created these 5 YouTube videos, I can move this into the complete section, and we can do this with all of these different areas. We can then add new cards for each day coming up, and that is the very basic overview of how we can use these different list and task sections. So now that you have a basic understanding of how the Trello list and task function works, let's take this up to the next level. Let's go a little bit more advanced and show you how you can use Trello as a workflow. So let's back out to the main Trello dashboard right here. And this time, instead of creating a basic board, we are now going to create a workspace. This workspace is essentially, imagine this like a folder. So the workspace is the folder, and then we can create different boards inside of the workspace. So for this workspace name, I'm going to set this up as if I run a marketing agency, and let's title this GeForce North Agency. Then under the workspace type, we can choose from any of these options right here, whether this is other, engineering, marketing, small business. So I'm just going to select this as marketing. We can also add an optional workspace description, which I am not going to do right now. From here, we can then add workspace members. So I'm going to add a few members of my team. All you have to do is enter in the email of the people and team members that you would like to invite to this workspace. Click invite to workspace, and then they will be sent an email. All they have to do is open that up, create a Trello account, and then they will be able to join your workspace. So right now we are inside the GeForce North Agency workspace, and let's go ahead and create a new board. We can create a board title in here, and I'm going to title this specific board Sales and Client Acquisition. This board is going to be for my team to focus on the sales and client acquisition aspect of my business. We can then choose a workspace, so you can choose from any of the workspaces we have. I'm going to leave this as GeForce North Agency, and then once again, we can choose the visibility. From here, I'm going to create this workspace, and once again, create 3 sections here of to do, in progress, in review, and complete. Next, let's go ahead and add some tasks that we need to complete in sales and client acquisition. And in here, I'm going to create reach out to 1,000 prospects, create a new Facebook ad campaign, and create new VSL. Now our team members can come in here and they can see exactly what we need to do for the sales and client acquisition. But this is pretty basic, and we still need to take this a step further and show our team exactly what we want them to do. We can click on this pencil icon and then click on open card right here. And this is going to take us into this specific card section where we can add a lot more detail to this. So in here, we can go ahead and add a description, and you can really customize this in any way that you like. But in here, I'm going to create a super simple description of this task. Once that description is added, we can save it right there. And that description we can now edit at any time by clicking on this edit button. Over on the right hand side, we have a bunch of cool fields that we can add in. And the first is going to be the checklist. We can use this checklist to really nail down and give our team a step-by-step overview of exactly what we need to do to hit this goal. So in here, I'm just going to title this checklist, but you can change the title here. And then under the checklist, we can create this step-by-step guide. So in here, I said step 1 is use Apollo AI to scrape 1,000 business owner emails, then create 3 different emails to test, then send each of those emails, these 3 emails, to 100 of the business owners each, find the best performing email of them, and then send the best performer to the other 700 contacts. So now this is all in here. What our team can do is they can come into sales and client acquisition, and they can not only see exactly what we need to do to make this a successful month, but they can now click into these checklist items and see everything that we need to do to hit these individual tasks. So let's say you or your team come along and we move this to in progress. What we can then do is go through each of these checklists, and let's say these first 2 are complete right here. It's going to show us what percentage of the checklist is complete right here, as well as right here, we can see 2 of the 5 checklist items are complete. Over on this left hand side, we can also add members, and this is going to allow us to set and assign these tasks to different team members. So in this example, reach out to 1000 prospects, I can click into members, and right here, it's going to list all of the members that I have on my board. So I can currently set this to Sarah, and as we can see, Sarah is now on here. I'm also going to go here and remove myself. And now because I set this up, Sarah is in charge of reaching out to these 1000 prospects. If I exit out of this, we can also see Sarah is shown right here. So at a glance, you and your team can log in and see exactly which team member is assigned to which particular task. We can also click into here and take this a step further by assigning these individual subtasks to different team members. So if I go here and add a new item, and maybe we say send to Mark for review, and then we also add complete review, we now have these in right here. So let's actually go ahead and move these by simply clicking and dragging. And after Sarah has created these 3 different emails, I want her to send this to Mark for review, and then I want Mark to complete this review before we start sending out these emails. So let's start off with assigning Sarah to some of these tasks by hovering over these subtasks, clicking on this icon right here, and then setting this to Sarah. So we want to set Sarah to all of these. Until we get to this point, the complete review, we will set this to Mark. Then we can set the rest of these tasks to Sarah right here. And then at the top, we will also set Mark in here. So right now we can see exactly who is assigned to the overall task, as well as who is assigned to each of these individual subtasks. We can also go over here on the left hand side and add labels, and this is really going to help this chart pop, add some different colors to this, and allow us to organize this at a completely different level. So for example, we can say outreach is going to be this yellow. So let's click into this pencil icon and title this outreach. We can also customize the color if you want to change this, but I'm just going to click save and then add this specific label to this task right here. So this is under outreach, and if we exit out of this, this is now going to show up with this yellow bar. Under create new Facebook ad campaign, let's open this up as well and add a label to this. And let's make this nice and blue. We can then click into this pencil icon and let's go ahead and title this at. Then we can click on save, back out of this, and this is now going to show up with blue. So we can now easily see which of these categories each of these tasks is in. So now let's go ahead and add a deadline. We can do this by clicking on this dates feature right here, and we can set both a start date and a deadline. So let's say we are going to give our team until the end of the month to reach out to 1000 prospects. Let's go into here and set this to the 29th of February, and we can set this to midnight. We can also choose to set a due date reminder. So let's send this out just a day before. Let's actually leave this. And then let's also choose a start date and set this to today's date. So let's check this off. And then we can set this to the 9th using this calendar feature. Once we save this, that is now going to be added in, and we can back out and once again in this area, see the start and due date. You can make this look a lot cleaner in my opinion if we just go back here and we remove the start date. This is going to make this look a lot cleaner as we can now clearly see a deadline mentioned here rather than 2 dates that showed up before. We can also add attachments to these different tasks by clicking on attachment, and in here you can upload files from your computer, you can paste in different links, display different text, and you can also add different boards as a link right here. You might be wondering where this would come in useful, so I will give you an example. Let's say we are building out this create new Facebook ad campaign task. Right now it's very blank, but let's imagine that this has a little bit more to it. What we can then do is go to attachments and we can upload different videos and images that would be helpful when creating these new Facebook ad campaigns. We can also add locations, which is something that I never personally really use, but maybe you are doing an in-person meeting that you want to set up here. Let's say this is in New York. We can set this to New York right here, and that's going to add a location for where this is going to take place. Once again, if we back out, on this note, we can see this card has a location. We can click into this, And let's actually just go ahead and delete this for now. I think it makes it look a little bit too cluttered, but that is something that we can add. Finally, we can also add a cover to this task. So we can click into cover, choose from any of these options right here. But the way that I personally prefer to do this is I just prefer to match this color to the color of the label. So this would be outreach. And the reason that adding a cover here is actually helpful is because it shows up right at the top, and once again just makes this board look a lot more vibrant and easy on the eyes. If I do the same thing to this Facebook ad campaign right here, let's add this blue color, you can see that it just takes it to the next level and really makes the user interface look a lot nicer. Let's open this up again. And down at the bottom here, we have this activity feature where we can communicate with our team about this certain task. So in here, I can write a comment and we can do a few things here. So first of all, we can just write a comment. So in here, I can say, hey team, how are things coming along? Just drop a little message in there. And what I can also do is if I want to tag particular people that I want to specifically speak to or aim this message at, I can tag them right here. So we can tag Sarah, and that's going to send Sarah a notification. If I go ahead and click on save, I don't know why that's called save. It should really be called send, but hey ho, this is then going to be sent and show up under activity. So let me back out and I will log into Sarah's account and show you how this is going to look from Sarah's point of view. So I am now in Sarah's account, and up in the top corner, we have this notification bell. Under notifications, this is going to show Sarah all of the notifications that are in. Let me switch this to unread. And as we can see right here, these are all of Sarah's notifications. So we can see the message that I sent. We can see all of the updates that I have added to this board. We can see she has been assigned to specific tasks. And anytime we make a change on the board related to Sarah or even tag her in a post, it's going to show up under this notification section for her. We also have this home screen right here, and under the home screen of Trello, it's going to show your items at the top. Right here, we can see all of the different items that Sarah has been assigned to. We can then click this drop-down menu and see even more. So right here, we can see find the best performing email, send the best performing email to the other 700 contacts, send each email to all of these, and so on and so forth. Down here, we can also see the message that I sent to Sarah. And if I click show more, this is going to show just some more notifications. So Sarah can see absolutely everything on this home screen right here. So let's now go up here into workspaces and go into my board. So once again, I'm still on Sarah's account here. I can then click into this area. Down at the bottom here, I can see the message from Riley. So from Sarah, I can go ahead and reply here. So I can type out this message, click on save, and just like that, that reply is going to be sent. I am now back in my main account as the main business owner. And if I go back to the board, I can see I now have a notification for this task. So I can click in, see the notification down here, and then once again, reply, add an emoji, or do whatever I want to in this section. So let's back out of this. And what you might also notice in Trello is we also have this table board. Opening up the table board, this is the exact same data that we had in the board section, but this is just in a table layout. So we can see all of the different tasks that we have. We can see the list that they are in, and we can also update them on this screen. So I can click into in progress, move this to, let's say this is now complete, and that is automatically going to move this over to the complete area. We can also add and change team members on this section, and this section is definitely something that you can use, but I personally always stick to the board section within Trello. We can also go up here and add other views. So for example, I can toggle on this calendar, and I can now see this as a calendar view. Right here on the 29th, we have this deadline to reach out to 1,000 people. However, if I go back to this board, let's go back in here and let's also add a start date. So if I add the start date as today, then we can click save. If I now go back over to the calendar, this is going to stretch out and spread across the entire month. So keep that in mind if you are using this calendar view, that is how this works, and that is how you can really customize your calendar view. The final thing that we are going to take a look at is the templates that we can get with Trello. So if we go up to the top here and open up this template section, we can see these are the top templates, but we want to click in to get a much deeper overview and see what these templates do. So right here, we have a new hire onboarding, a tier list, better work habits challenge, all of these different sections. And you can also use this search bar at the top to search for specific templates. So let's check out this new hire onboarding. We can open this up and get a preview of how this looks before we go in. So you can use this section, really take a look through any templates that you might want to use. And then if you do want to use them, just click on use template. We can then choose the title, the workspace, and then create this. And just like that, this is going to create the board, load us in, and we can now go ahead and use this board. So that is my step-by-step tutorial on Trello. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.